Hey there, Aurora. So I got your question to ask me, can you go into the importance of each agency and what they do? Sounds like there's a lot to it. So this was a response to me breaking down the importance of agencies and that not all agencies are the same. So I thought that I would just kind of like glaze over some rules of thumb, right? And there's three to be considering, right? First, there's the a type of agency, meaning like niche specific agencies. Then the second thing that we're going to go over are agencies with divisions versus agencies that have a singular focus. And the third thing we're going to go over is booking agencies versus mother agencies. So let's start with niche specific agencies. That's like fashion agencies versus commercial agencies, right? So a lot of times when you guys think of agencies, you think of just fashion agencies. You think of the Elites, the Wilhelminas, the IMG. I always want to say IHG because I've started working for that hotel for their campaigns, and now it's just like, but IMG, etc. You think of your Fords, all of that, because that's what's been presented to you. That's what makes models models. That's who you know all of the traditional model success tends to filter through, right? Those are the agencies that get the call for Calvin Klein, the call for Burberry, the call for Victoria's Secret fashion show. Like they get those calls because of the type of modeling that they focus on. Lucky for you, there's over 20 modeling niches, and you don't have to be regulated to fashion. In fact, it's one of the, I would say, like strictest or restrictive niches that there are, because you have to be, normally between a certain age, you have to have a certain look, you have to have certain weight, certain height, etc. It's very restrictive when there's 20 other niches that can fit you in a heartbeat, right? So unfortunately what happens is a lot of models, when they think about agency representation, they only think of fashion agencies, and so that's what they apply to. And when that's what you apply to, and you're not a fit for it because it's super restrictive, you get discouraged thinking that you're never going to be a model because the fashion modeling agencies don't want you. Lo and behold, there's other types of modeling agencies. A good example is commercial modeling agencies. They specialize in commercial modeling. So it's a lot broader as far as like the types of work that you'll do a lot of lifestyle, you can do a lot of print, etc. But it's also a lot more welcoming. There's a lot more opportunities there. And being able to fit commercially or be in a commercial market is always a benefit to you because you very rarely have to change your look in any capacity to be a commercial model, right? It's one of the most lucrative modeling niches that there are. I've talked about this before on the podcast, which is coming back. If you haven't already, be sure to catch up on the old episodes. It's over 24 hours of episodes inside of the podcast, so check that out. And then to take it a step further, there's also other specializations for agencies that aren't fashion, so you can find a type of agency that works for you or specialize in a niche that works for you, which brings me to the second point where I was talking about divisions versus like singular agencies. So certain fashion agencies, sometimes they only do just fashion modeling, like that's all they have on their roster, that's all they focus on, that's it. There are other agencies that maybe fashion agencies, but they have a runway division, they have a fit model division, they have a classic division, and these divisions are just sectors that still give you the vibe of the overall agency and what they book, but in specific niches. So instead of, loving fashion models, but you need a fashion model who's like 60 years old and can't find them, what an agency will do is have a classic or a timeless division where you'll have, 8 to 10 models who are 45 and up and who have the parameters of a fashion model, but they're just mature. And that's something that I really show models, like the overlay of different modeling niches when I work with them hands-on inside of Model Maker. So if that's something that you're interested in, discovering more about and figuring out how to like layer niches and make sure that you are um, doing the niches that work best for you and are going to make you money, you can always drop the word call below this video and I'll send you a link to set up a call to see if you're a good fit and then get you onboarded. But I want you to understand that just as there are agencies that, they have those divisions, there are agencies that only do a certain type. A good example of this are parts model agencies, where all they do are parts. They only represent models for their hands, their feet, their ears, kneecaps. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are part specific. They don't care how old you are, how young you are. It's just for the parts. That's it. Right? That's kind of the second point. You have some agencies that have divisions where it gives you more opportunities to fit within that agency and get different types of work in that agency. And then you have other agencies that are just specific singular agencies in which, no, you don't have as many opportunities to be accepted by them. But if you do get represented by them, you are a shoe-in for that specific niche of work. The last thing that I want us to go over, and it's just like I'm giving you guys like the broad overview, and that's why I'm like, I feel like this is a lot, but hopefully like these little, three tidbits will really help you out. Because again, I already have hours of breakdowns of this inside of Model Maker where I work with models hands on. So I'm trying to give you guys information that you can use. Because you need it and you asked the question, but also understanding that I already have the walkthroughs of this. I already have the full breakdowns, the diagrams, everything else already done. So last thing I want you guys to understand is booking agencies versus mother agencies. So your mother agency is normally the agency that gets you placed in other agencies. That's their whole job. And then they get a fee from the work that you do with those agencies. Now, booking agencies are the actual agencies that book you the work. Okay. A mother agency might get you placed, but the booking agency, which is the agency you get booked with, is the ones who send you the jobs, is the ones who you signed your contract with so they can, collect money on behalf of you. They're the ones that are, when you land the job, you are sending your paperwork to their office. Like, that's your booking agency. So there's a difference. Do mother agencies also book their models jobs? Yeah, that's not outlandish. It's not like never happened before, right? It is something that can occur, but that's not their primary focus. It's a bonus, but it's not a focus. Versus a booking agency, their whole purpose is to make sure that you book work. Like, that's what they're geared towards. That's why they have you on the roster, so that you can book work. All right. If you guys have any questions about this, any of those 3 points, um, any of the points in particular, anything that you want to know more about. I know we covered a lot, but let me know in the comments. You can always ask your questions under the answers to these other questions, even if they're not your question. Okay. With that being said, I'll talk to you guys again really soon.